They call it the people's money. A revolution against banks, a lifeline in economic chaos, a digital gold no one can touch. But behind Bitcoin's glowing promise lies a history much darker, stranger, and more mysterious than most people realize. A story born from financial ruin, nurtured in shadows, and carried forward by a ghost who never showed his face. The year was 2008. The world was collapsing. Banks failed one after another. Millions were thrown out of their homes, and governments printed trillions, inflating away the hopes of ordinary people. Trust in money itself was shattered. And then, in the ashes of that chaos, an anonymous figure appeared. His name, Satoshi Nakamoto. His weapon, a 9-page white paper posted to an obscure online forum. It described a new form of money, borderless, bankless, unstoppable. It was called Bitcoin. On January 3rd, 2009, the first Bitcoin block was mined. Hidden in its code was a single, chilling message. The Times, March 1st, 2009. Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks. This wasn't just software. It was a rebellion carved into mathematics. But at first, almost no one cared. Bitcoin traded for fractions of a cent. One man paid 10,000 Bitcoins for 2 pizzas. Today, worth billions. To most, it was worthless. To a small group of hackers, libertarians, and dreamers, it was salvation. And yet, the shadow of its creator loomed larger than the coin itself. Who was Satoshi? A lone coder working in secrecy? A team of cryptographers? A government experiment? He mined over 1 million Bitcoins, enough to become the richest man alive. And then, without warning, he vanished. His silence became the loudest mystery in financial history. Bitcoin was supposed to be freedom, but its first real use was darker. In hidden corners of the internet, the Silk Road marketplace rose. Drugs, weapons, even whispers of hired assassins, all bought with Bitcoin. Governments panicked. To them, this wasn't digital gold. It was the money of criminals. In 2013, the FBI struck, arresting the Silk Road's creator and seizing billions in Bitcoin. Yet instead of dying, Bitcoin grew stronger. Every attack made it harder to kill. But the shadows weren't done with it. In 2014, Mt. Gox, the largest Bitcoin exchange in the world, collapsed overnight. 850,000 Bitcoins disappeared. Some blamed hackers. Others suspected betrayal from within. Thousands of ordinary people lost everything. And still, Bitcoin survived. Governments tried to crush it. China banned it. The US regulated it. Banks called it worthless. Journalists declared it dead more than 400 times. But like a ghost, Bitcoin refused to stay buried. Each crackdown, each obituary, only fed its legend. By 2017, Bitcoin wasn't a toy. It was a global frenzy. Prices soared past $20,000. Fortunes were made. Families mortgaged homes to buy in. And then, just as quickly, it crashed. Dreams shattered, lives ruined. Yet the myth of Bitcoin grew ever larger. Even the community itself began to fracture. Wars over its future split it apart into rival coins, each claiming to be the real Bitcoin. And while the world fought over its meaning, one country made the unthinkable move. In 2021, El Salvador became the first nation on Earth to declare Bitcoin legal tender. For some, it was proof of destiny. For others, a dangerous gamble with national survival. Through it all, Satoshi's fortune, 1 million untouched Bitcoins, sits like a ticking time bomb. If he ever returns, he could crash markets overnight, or become the richest person in history. But he remains silent, watching, waiting, a ghost in the machine. Today, Bitcoin is hailed as digital gold, a hedge against inflation, a lifeline for those locked out of banks. But its history is written in shadows, collapses, betrayals, mysteries, and crime. Behind every chart, every fortune, every dream of financial freedom, lurks the question Satoshi left behind. Did Bitcoin really free us from the system? Or did it simply create a new one we don't yet understand?